Condoleezza Rice, the woman and the leader. Condoleezza Rice grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, during the height of the civil rights violence. Her best childhood friend, Denise McNair, died in the infamous bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in 1963. She said it was a scary place to live. Her great-grandmother were slaves. Her parents were both teachers and deeply religious. They were determined that she will become educated, accomplished, and well-rounded young woman. Rice took lessons in French, Spanish, music, figure skating, and ballet at the age of 3. When she was 13, her parents moved to Denver. She attended Saint Mary Academy and graduated at the age of 16. When she was 26, she received her PhD in political science from Joseph Corbell School at the University of Denver. Corbell himself was her mentor, and his daughter is Madeleine Albright. She learned to be a leader when she was only 4. She was president of her family and had authority with confidence to make decisions. She was elected every year. Condoleezza Rice believed leadership began with integrity. A leader must recognize the leadership qualities in others. A leader must develop their followers' skills. Condoleezza Rice found her value and her voice in Birmingham with the help of her parents, and set an example of her achievements. She was very disciplined and focused in everything she did. She was taught by her parents the importance of the education and to strive for the best that she could attain. Her parents were determined that she had to be excellent and have high expectations for herself. They always told her to be twice as good as others. She said there was no excuse for poor performance in anything. Condoleezza Rice succeeded because she was able to envision great goals for herself that were based on her strong moral values. One of her dreams to see others have the right of freedom, especially for women and children. On June 2005, in Cairo, Egypt, she did something that no other Secretary of State had done before. She forcefully told Egypt and Saudi Arabia to stop oppressing their citizens. Rice noted that for 60 years the United States had pursued stability at the expense of democracy. Now we are supporting the democratic aspiration for all people. She called on Egypt and Saudi Arabia to embrace democracy with fair election, release of political prisoners, and allow free expression and women's rights. In this time of great decision, she said, I have come to Cairo not to talk about the past, but to talk to the future. Her speech began a slow but sure movement toward democracy. Now, many women in Saudi Arabia can vote, they can hold office, then they can even drive their own car. Condoleezza Rice grew up challenging the process and had determination and willpower to succeed. Part of her motivation and drive was the fact that people underestimated her, and they questioned her ability because she was young and she's a black woman. Rice was the first female, first African American, and the youngest provost in Stanford history. She was responsible for managing the university multi-billion-dollar budget that was in deficit. When she took office, She promised that the budget would be balanced within 2 years. And most people say it, it couldn't be done. But 2 years later, she approved. She announced that the deficit was eliminated and the university was holding a record surplus of 14.5 million. Condoleezza Rice succeeded as a leader because she collaborated with others by building trust and relationship. One of the most difficult times for the Bush presidency and the country was the 9/11 attacks. President Bush trusted her and relied on her judgment and ability to manage. Rice was critical of the various U.S. intelligence agencies because they didn't work together. They didn't share information because they didn't trust one another. Following 9/11, she addressed this problem by building trust among those agencies and their leaders. Today, our intelligence agencies work together and rely on each other. When Condoleezza Rice first met her employee at the State Department, she shared with them a valuable lesson that she learned when she was an intern there. She joked, "Always be nice to your intern, because you never know where they are going to be end up." And she added, "I'm one of you, and all of you, even the interns, are important. There are no unimportant jobs here." She worked with Secretary of Education Anna Duncan and others in video for goals that encouraged them to be strong and ambitious, and not to be afraid to be a leader. She praised millions of citizens in the Middle East for voicing their desire for liberty and democracy, especially for women. So that's it from me, and I hope you enjoy my presentation and wish you have a great weekend. Bye bye.